Hello everyone, this is the fifth lecture of Unit 1. In this particular lecture, I'll discuss about the load equalization and I'll solve an example based on this concept. So first question is, what is the need of load equalization in electric drive system? So you'll see that in some drive applications, load torque fluctuates widely within short interval of time. Okay, that means the load torque demand is very high for very short duration of time, then the load torque demand is very low for rest of the time. Then again the load torque demand will be high for short duration of time, then again it will be low. So this cycle will continue. So such examples are pressing machine, where a large torque of short duration is required during pressing operation, and rest of the time the torque is nearly zero. Other examples are electric hammer, steel rolling mills, and reciprocating pumps. So practical example that you might have seen of sugarcane machine, where juice is taken from the sugarcane. The load applied in the system is very high for a very short duration of time, and for the rest of the time the load torque requirement is very low. Okay. So in such drives there will be two problems. One is, if motor is required to supply peak torque demanded by load, then the rating of the motor rather has to be high. And the second problem is, it will draw a pulsed current from the supply. Whenever the pulse current is drawn from the main supply, then there will be adverse effect on the other loads connected with the same supply, that you have seen in AC DC converter. Okay, so there will be two problems. One is, if motor has to supply such a high torque, then the rating of the motor will be high. Second problem is, it will draw a pulsed current from the main supply, which will affect the other loads connected with the same main supply. Okay, so for this reason we have to adopt load equalization method, so that the motor rating should be small and the current drawn from the main supply should not be in pulsed form. Okay, so the most important method is by connecting a free flywheel on the motor shaft. So by doing this, when there is no load, the motor torque will exceed to the load torque, and the drive will accelerate, and the energy will be stored in this flywheel. Okay, so this is the figure of flywheel. So that means energy will be stored in the flywheel during low torque period, and when the load torque demand is high, the energy stored in this free wheel as well as the energy supplied by the motor will supply to the load requirement. Okay, when the load is light, the fly will accelerate and store energy, and when the load torque is high, then the system will decelerate, and the energy stored in this flywheel will supply to the load. So in this case, actually the motor torque speed characteristics is something like this, which is drooping torque speed characteristic. The no load speed is omega m naught. As the load increases, the speed falls. So at rated torque, the speed is omega mr. Okay. So actually, if you remember the basic equation, that was T motor was T load plus J d omega m over dt. So the dynamic component J d omega over dt along with the motor torque will supply the load torque demand. Okay. So in this figure you can see the load torque characteristic with respect to time is something like this. So it is TLH for time TH, then it falls to TLL for time TL, then again it is TLH for time TH, then again it falls to TLL for time TL. So this is the torque characteristics of the load with respect to time. So you can see the load torque is fluctuating between TLL and TLH. Okay. Now, as you can see, the motor speed, whenever the load torque is high, you can see the motor speed is falling, then it reaches to this point. Then again, when there is a low load torque demand, then the speed will increase from this point to this point. Then again it will fall, then again it will increase. Okay, so this is the characteristic of speed with respect to time. So we have to find what will be the characteristic of the motor. You can see the motor torque characteristic will be for high load torque demand, the speed, the torque characteristic of the motor should increase, okay, with respect to time. Whenever the load torque demand is low, the motor torque, you can see it is falling from T max to T minimum, then again from T minimum to T max, then again T max to T minimum. Okay, so this is the torque characteristic of motor with respect to time, and this is the speed of the motor with respect to time, and this was the TL, this is the load torque requirement. Okay, so this concept is applicable. That means we are mounting a flywheel directly on the motor shaft, where variable speed drive is not required, and reversing of the speed is not required. Okay, whenever variable speed drives or reversible drives is there, we cannot use this method, because the flywheel will increase the moment of inertia and transient time will be very large. Okay, so that means speed reversal will not take place in that definite time. So from this equation, from the speed torque characteristic of the motor, so this is the straight line, we can write the equation of this straight line. As you can see, y is equal to mx plus c type line. So intercept is omega m naught, so I had written here. Then what will be the slope of this line? It will be omega m naught minus omega mr, okay, y2 minus y1, then x2 minus x1, so 0 minus tr, so minus I taken here, times x, y is equal to mx plus c, x is here t, so times t. So this is the equation of this straight line. Okay, so here you can see omega m naught is no load speed of the motor, omega mr is the rated speed of the motor, and tr is the rated torque of the motor. Okay, so if we differentiate this equation, we got d omega m upon dt. Omega m naught is a constant value, so differentiation of this quantity will be 0. So we are getting d omega m upon dt is equal to 0 minus, this term is a constant term. Okay, so this times dt upon dt. So you can see here, if you multiply both the side by j, so this side will become j d omega m or dt. This was 0 minus j, this term, times dt upon dt. You can see this equation. Okay, now this first quantity you can see, it is j omega m naught minus omega mr upon tr. This is a constant that we call time constant or mechanical time constant of the motor. Okay, no load speed to full rated speed divided by the rated torque. This quantity we call as the mechanical time constant of the motor. Okay, so tau m is nothing but j omega m naught minus omega mr upon tr. Again, this is a time constant, this is time, so this will be a positive number. Okay, so if we substitute this in the fundamental equation, so we have j d omega m over dt is equal to minus tm upon minus tm times dt minus tau m times dt upon dt. So if you remember the motor load equation, that was T motor was T load plus J d omega m or dt. In that equation, if you substitute J d omega m or dt to be minus tau m times dt upon dt. So we will get this equation. Okay, so this is the motor torque, this is the load torque. So this quantity here it was plus here, so we taken this side minus. So if we substitute, so these two minus will become positive, you can see here. So this is the equation. So this is the first order differential equation in motor torque. Okay, and the solution of this equation will result in this one. Okay, so motor torque will be TLH 1 minus e to the power minus t over tau m plus t minimum, that is initial value here, e to the power minus t over tau m. If t minimum is 0, so this number will be 0. You are very much familiar with this equation. Okay, so if here time is between 0 to th, because we are taking only this part. Okay, so time is varying between 0 to th. Okay, that means high load torque demand period. Okay, so here T minimum is the motor torque at T is equal to 0, which is also the instant when heavy load TLH is applied. If motor torque at the end of heavy load period is T max, then from this equation, okay, so if we substitute T is equal to TH, so this T will become T max. You can see if we time is increasing, if it reaches to TH, then the torque, motor torque become T max. So substitute here T max and this time to be th, we will get this equation. Okay, now if you want to get solution for low load torque duration, so this equation, that means if we take time between th to th plus tl, that means time from here to this. So here it is th and here time it is, if we take this as the origin, so here time is TL plus TH. Okay, because this TL and this time if we add TH, we will get this timing. Okay, so if we want to solve for this part from this equation, we will get this result. Okay, so T is equal to TLL e 1 minus e to the power minus T prime upon tau m plus T max e to the power minus T prime upon tau m. Okay, where T prime is varying between 0 to TL. Okay, or in other terms, if you want to write in terms of original time, so T prime will be T minus TH. Okay, if we remove this time, so T prime will be T minus TH. Okay, so for this part we got this equation. Okay, so when operating a steady state, motor torque at the end of the cycle will be same as that of the beginning cycle. Okay, you can see the motor torque at the end. So this is the cycle, so this is the beginning and this is the end. So these 2 points will be at the same level. Okay, so using this concept, so if we substitute T prime is equal to TL, then T is equal to T minimum. Okay, if we substitute T prime is equal to TL, so we are getting whatever torque is, it is T minimum. So you can see if we substitute here T minimum and T prime, if we substitute TL, if we substitute this timing in this equation, then this torque will reach to T minimum value. Okay, and so from this expression you can see if you substitute T is equal to T minimum and T prime is equal to TL. So you can see here T minimum is equal to TLL 1 minus e to the power minus TL upon tau m plus T max e to the power minus TL upon tau m. Okay, so we are having two equations. We have to calculate the mechanical time constant. Okay, so from first equation, that was T max is equal to TLH 1 minus e to the power minus TH upon tau m plus T minimum e to the power minus TH upon tau m. From this equation we can compute what will be the tau m value. Okay, so this is simple, just open this bracket, TLH minus TLH times E plus T minimum times this. So you can see this part exponential component is common in these two. Take that common, and rest of the time you have to take one side, then take log, then you have to take ln, that is log to the base e, and you will find what will be the mechanical time constant of the motor. So from this equation we get mechanical time constant to be Th ln TLH minus T minimum TLH minus T maximum. You can simplify it. Finally you will get this expression. Okay. Also we know that time constant was, what was the definition of mechanical time constant? If you can see, it was tau m is equal to j omega m naught minus omega mr upon tr. Okay, now substitute tm value here, we can find what will be the moment of inertia, that is the total moment of inertia of motor and the flywheel. So total moment of inertia we can find, okay, from this expression. So tr upon omega m naught minus omega mr times tau m. Okay, so this value tr upon omega m naught minus omega mr, from this, then tau is, we got this one. Okay, so this tau we substituted here, so that is th upon something like this. Okay, so this is the first expression. Also from this equation, that is from the second part, we can also find what will be the tau m. Okay, doing the same thing, just open this bracket, collect the term of exponential, then take rest of the term one side, then take the ln, you will get mechanical time constant to be this one. Okay, where it is TL ln T max minus TLL upon T minimum minus TLL. So if we substitute this value in the definition of this, so here if we substitute tau m to be this, we can find what will be the j. Okay, so j you can also find from this expression. You will see that in calculation, if you use either this expression or this expression, you will get the same result. Okay, you can use any of the expression based on the given quantity. So in numerical problem, you can use either of these two expressions to find the total moment of inertia of motor and flywheel. Once total moment of inertia is known, you have to subtract the moment of inertia of the motor, then you can find the moment of inertia of the flywheel. Once moment of inertia of flywheel is known, you can find what will be the weight and what will be the radius. Okay, accordingly you can select the flywheel dimensions and weight. Okay, so based on this concept, now I'll show you one example that is given in GK Dubey book, that is example 2.3. So in this problem, a motor equipped with a flywheel is to supply a load torque of 1000 Newton meter for 10 seconds, followed by a light load period of 200 Newton meter, long enough for the flywheel to regain its steady state speed. Okay, it is desired to limit the motor torque to 700 Newton meter. So peak torque demand requirement is 1000, but motor you want to supply maximum torque of 700 Newton meter. Rest of the torque will come from the flywheel, that is energy stored in flywheel, and the component was j d omega m or dt. Okay, so what should be the moment of inertia of flywheel? Motor has inertia, motor inertia is given, so you have to subtract this inertia to get the flywheel moment of inertia. Okay, its no load speed, the no load speed of motor is 500 rpm, and the slip at a torque of, so rated torque is given 500 Newton meter and the slip is 5%. Okay, now we have to assume a speed torque characteristic of motor to be a straight line in the region of interest. So the moment of inertia, total moment of inertia of motor and flywheel was J is equal to TR omega m0 minus omega mr th upon this. Okay, so in this everything is given, you have to only substitute the values. First is this rotational speed must be in radian per second. So first you have to convert no load speed and full load speeds, rated speeds in radian per second. So what you do, if rpm is given, you have to multiply by 2 pi by 60 to get in radian per second. So 500 no load speed in newton in rpm, so you have to multiply 2 pi by 60 to get it radian per second, so it is 52.36. Similarly, speed at this 1 minus slip times the rated speed. Okay, so 1 minus sleep 52.36, you are getting rated speed to be 49.7 radian per second. Now first term you can compute. The rated torque is given 500 Newton meter, and these speeds already you computed here: 52.36, 49.74. Put here, you are getting this first term is 190.84. Okay, now what will be the high load torque TLH? It is 1000. What is T maximum? It is 700. What is TLL? It is 200. Everything is given in this problem. Okay, so you can find these things. So TLH was 1000, T max 700, that is motor torque requirement. T minimum is equal to TLL. Okay, so that is 200 Newton meter. TH is high torque demand period was 10 seconds. Now substituting all these things. So first we have computed this, put here as such. Now you can see here TH is 10 second, put 10 second here. Ln TLH is 1000, put here, minus T minimum, it was 200, substitute here. Then again 1000 TLH, then T maximum, it is 700. Okay, substitute here. All these quantity once you substitute, you are getting total moment of inertia of the motor and flywheel system to be this one. Okay, so the moment of inertia of the flywheel will be total minus the moment of inertia of the motor. So you are getting 1861.8 kilogram meter square. In some problem, if mass is given, you can find what will be the radius of the disk. Okay, if the radius is given, you can also find what will be the mass. So based on this concept, you can determine the dimensions of the flywheel. Okay, now in the next lecture, that will be the last lecture, I will discuss about some problem that is given in GK Dubey book, and also I will give solutions of all the problems of the GK Dubey book. Okay, so that will be the last lecture, and we almost completed unit 1, and I will take unit 2 thereafter. Okay, thank you. So you can also find the concept that I discussed here on this link if you are interested. Okay, thank you.